Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today guys, I have got a game from the Raise Replay Pack of the Week. It is TLO, the blue Zerg player in the top right, and he is up against EmpireKas, the red Terran in the lower left. These two, well, they are possibly some of my favourite StarCraft players ever. Kas, down in the lower left, I absolutely love Kas. He is an amazing player who does some really cool things, and his strategies are quite varied and he's quite cool, and he loves command centers. Literally, if he can make command centers all day and win this game, he most likely would, because he builds them like they're going out of fashion. And TLO, well, TLO obviously is a boss mode as well. Obviously he's going to be droning, and well, let's talk a little bit about this map. It is of course Cloud Kingdom. The natural base is all like shielded off from there, no ramp there, so it's quite easy to hold. Third base, relatively easy to take, and this is going to be really interesting for TLO, because I predict in terms of what's going to happen, Kas may go for either a 1-rack command center or even a command center first, because that is just how Kas plays. The 1-rack CC is a very good opening anyway, and I mean, when you see the command center first, well, Kas is really usually quite happy to do that, but he has got enough money up. He's getting a barracks, and it's in a very strange position. It's almost like he's trying to get it unscouted, so that could be really good, but of course his Overlord is on its way over, and if the Overlord stops here, it's going to see everything, so we'll wait and see what happens there. TLO, he's going to go for a 15 hatch into a 16 pool, almost certainly, because that's just what you do as Zerg against Terran. It works. And, well, in terms of later game, obviously TLO's long-term aim is going to be kind of most likely Banelings, Zerglings, Infestors into Broodlord Infestor with Spinecrawler backup, and Kas, he's going to be going for Marine Tank Medevac, because that's generally what happens, but depending on the strategy, there's other things that can happen. Now, what I'm really interested to see is whether Kas does throw down this command center, because if he doesn't, it's going to be a very, very unusual opening indeed, and obviously this barracks is going to get scouted now by TLO, so he's going to know exactly what's going down, what's happening. In terms of things happening, we should see any second now the orbital command, there we go, and now obviously we're nearing up to the 300 minerals, which is when we should see an SCV get pulled to build the command center if it is going to go down. Now obviously that Overlord has seen it, so TLO is now fully aware of what's going on. The SCV has been pulled, and we should see the command center chucked down. So there we go. It is just a 1-rack command center opening, just with a bit of a strange positioning on the barracks. And yeah, now we've got a bit of aggression coming in. Obviously, this SCV is always going to be a threat to chuck down a bunker. You don't know precisely what's going on with the Marines or anything like that, so we'll be interested to see whether TLO does try to deal with that SCV at all, or whether he just leaves it there. Nice little trick here. If you mine a mineral patch, or one of your enemy's mineral patches, it messes up the drone's AI, and they go off to other mineral patches. That works with any race, by the way, guys. Obviously here, Kas is getting up to double gas following this up. We should see then a factory, then a reactor chucked down on the barracks. And that'll then be used for reactor Hellions, and really common follow-up to the reactor Hellions is actually to get Banshees out as well. So you send Banshees up into the main base, from the back you send Hellions into the natural, and that can cause a lot of problems. But of course TLO, he's now in a position where he knows that his opponent's got this natural base down, he knows he's on equal bases with his opponent, or will be very shortly, and therefore needs to start thinking about taking his third. And this third base is really quite awkward to take, because tanks can roll up here, get a really good siege position down here, and Marines are then very, very powerful, and it can be really, really awkward for Zerg to defend that third base. Anyway, we've got a bunker going down. It is defensively, so this wall-off getting formed here by Kas. That bunker will allow him to really hold off quite a lot of pressure. The factory on its way down as well, in a very, very odd position, and of course we won't see the reactor come down on the barracks now, because it's just too far away from the factory, and it would also be exposed that way. So this is, again, interesting build. You've got a second factory now being added on here by Kas, so this is straight away Kas looking like maybe he's going to be going mech. I'm thinking perhaps Blue Flame Hellions are a possibility here, very, very early on, because I'd allow 1 reactor and 1 tech lab on those factories. That's a possibility. TLO getting up his first 2 gas. He needs to start thinking about taking his third base very, very soon. That's going to be a pressing priority for him. In terms of the worker count, 26 to 23, so it's all okay there. In terms of units lost, nothing for either player yet. They are yet to meet each other on the field of battle. Coming down, we've got the tech lab already on one of those factories, so I am definitely putting my money on Blue Flame Hellions. And, well, what can TLO do to defend that? Well, he needs to get roaches out, is essentially the primary thing to defend Blue Flame Hellions. There goes the Blue Flame upgrade. Here comes the first Hellions out of the reactor on the other factory. TLO taking his third base there, and checks are going nicely. Love the fact there's 2 additional queens out. That's just going to allow TLO to spread the creep like a complete baller. And on a map like Cloud Kingdom, you need to have those extra creep tumors, because it's just so wide. You've got multiple different paths that you have to spread creep through. Now Kas, doing the Kas thing, he's got these factories up. He knows he's going Blue Flame, so he builds another command center. Because when you're Kas, you just can't build enough of them. You love them. Even using that that barracks to scout out the Overlord and pick it off. So you do have the first loss here already. It was one Overlord. That's 100 minerals gone for TLO. The double Evo chambers coming up. No sign of a Roach Warren yet. Still just the 2 gas. The third base is about half done, and well, we do have these units moving across the map at the moment. These Hellions just poking fun, and they're going to go and see that little Zergling there and pick that off. Of course, nothing really wrong with exposing the Hellions at this stage, because TLO knows that it's almost certainly going to be a Hellion follow-up. What he won't know about, though, is this blue flame upgrade. So that could really be the thing that tips him over the edge. And again, the other advantage of getting down the 3rd and 4th queen is with this placement. As you can see, TLO has made a complete wall off to his natural, which means it's completely safe from Hellions at the moment. We do, of course, have that spine crawler coming down as well. That's going to help deal with everything. The 3rd base is a little bit exposed, but as long as you don't transfer drones there too early, well, you're not in too much of a threat, because well, Hellions themselves can't actually deal with buildings very well in the slightest. It would take ages to kill anything there. The Hellion number's actually going up really quite high here. 7 already, 3 more on the way. That takes up to 10 Hellions. Blue Flame is done, and I think we should see Cass move out with those 10 Hellions. In terms of scouting information, the Watchtower is not held by TLO at the moment. Its Overlord placement isn't amazing, and really Cass could get by without that even getting spotted, which wouldn't be great times for TLO, except he has now managed to get Zergling, but does get picked off. So that timing absolutely brilliant there by Cass. He's going to go up towards the 3rd base. A couple of Speedlings on their way across the map, but the Hellions on the way over as well now. And a lot of drones transferring. How many are there? Well, that is 11 already. They're going to get taken out very, very quickly by those Hellions. Just one shot from that many, and they will all go down. And, well, as you can see, lots of drones getting taken out there. But the wall-off is helping. But, of course, with that many Hellions, the Queen's getting taken down as well. But a great transfuse, absolutely on the money. And TLO just leaving the rest of his Zerglings out the Watchtower. There's the 3rd Queen being brought over. 1 Queen does fall for the moment, but of course you've got more spares. These remainder Hellions are just going to really run around and not do too much. In terms of the loss tab, well, TLO has lost an awful lot more, and he's also lost 9 workers, which is actually quite a lot at this stage of the game, especially when you think that Cass has already got his 3rd base up, and he's getting a 4th command center already. So this is really crazy play by Cass. And he's really just setting him up to be in an amazing economical position. And TLO, he's going to be in a tough spot. Yes, he does have Roaches out now. He's also getting up the Overlord drop tech, as well as Overlord speed, the +1 missile attack, and the Roach speed coming down. But TLO, he has just got to deal with this many Hellions, and there is a lot of Hellions here, and really with just only a small number of Roaches, it could be quite difficult. 3rd Evo chamber being built, so TLO knows he's got to defend this, and by doing a complete wall off with buildings, those Hellions are not going to be able to punch too quickly at all, but more drones are getting picked off. The Roach is even taking huge damage from this number of Hellions. It is just a case of if you've got more stuff, you're going to win. A transfuse did try to go down, but these Hellions, they are doing huge amounts of damage. They're even picking off the Roaches, which is pretty bonkers. And of course, because TLO has built this full wall off, or did have it there for a moment at least, he's not going to be able to get any more Roaches out. He's keeping that drone there ready to rebuild it should those Hellions poke him forward anymore. But for the moment, TLO looks to have held it. 13 workers have been killed. Cass's 4th base is nearly up. He's adding on just stupid amounts of more factories. He's adding on, well, he's going to be up to 6 factories very, very shortly. He's got siege mode nearly done. The 1-1 vehicle upgrades done. And TLO is getting up a Nydus network. Oh my gosh, I love that. That is just absolutely boss mode. Meanwhile, we see a lot of Overlords moving very, very quickly, a lot of Roaches moving very, very quickly. Of course, those Hellions are going to be a bit worried what's going on there, because a drop into the main would be a problem. And of course, the big issue for Cass is that mech isn't that strong in the mid-game. It's not until it gets up to about 170, 180 supply that it becomes really difficult for Zerg to deal with. So up until that point, it could be a bit of a problem. But of course, a Planetary Fortress is the 3rd, which I think is an absolutely genius move, because this small number of Roaches aren't going to be able to deal with the Planetary Fortress on their own, especially with the repairs going down, but just trying to sit around the back where they can pick stuff off out of the range of the Planetary Fortress. So really good control, but of course tanks coming up there now. They will finish everything else off. They're adding a bit of extra support. Of course, that Overlord is generating some creep, but that's not a huge problem. Hellions coming up towards the 3rd base of TLO, which is undefended at the moment, and those 4 Hellions are going to be able to do just so much damage to this drone line. And as you can see, they're going straight in the middle line, taking big damage. But what's this? We've got some drop tech going on here. They're going to get straight on top of those tanks, but up at the 3rd, those Hellions have completely decimated that mineral line. As you can see, the Roaches trying to do some damage to the tanks, but they are not getting dragged right on top of it. The 2 tanks are down, but there's more spread out absolutely everywhere. We've got quite a few SCVs getting pulled over now to try and repair those tanks up as well. And, well, for the moment, this is just getting incredibly irritating. Some Hellions are there as well, but the tanks are staying up, and most of these Roaches should get cleaned up now. But this is a good little counterattack. Generate creep going down again, just going to prevent building for quite a while, which is very, very irritating indeed. But for the moment, Kas has held that off, but a Nydus network pops up, and we have got loads of roaches on their way through. This is an absolutely crazy amount of roaches in the main base of Kas. Now, TLO, absolutely money move right there, and although his third base never got up and running, this two-base pressure is absolutely sick. He is doing so much damage with these roaches. All the tanks have been picked off, bar one, which has just popped out. Two more pop out as well, but they don't get the siege up in time. The roaches are already over there hugging them, and, well, with a +1 missile attack, those roaches are doing huge damage, and, well, they've also got +2 armor, so they are doing a really nice job there. Looking around, this 4th command center, Orbit Command, is getting picked off. All of the production facilities will probably get focused fairly soon now as well, and this is not looking good. And there's the GG from Kas, and that, guys, was an awesomely fun ZvT. I love that. That was awesome. So if you did enjoy, please subscribe. I get new games up daily. Leave a cool comment and like the video. But most importantly, guys, I will catch you tomorrow for yet another new cast. Bye for now.